are a property investment fund, and we are M5 Property Addicts. We are in a number of cities. But if you may allow me, thanks for coming through to invest with us. I'm just going to jump into the presentation. And I know that we are here for the investment. So I'm just going to state it out there that we are a business that stands for three things. And those three things is that we are of the firm belief that what we are trying to do is to create an impact in the communities that we are doing business. So that's number one. And we have seen this by creating houses. We have seen this by housing student accommodations. And over and above that, we're there to create freedom. And we really want to create freedom for you and for ourselves. And what is that freedom about? It is financial freedom. So we're all about creating passive income. And over and above that, we really stand for legacy. For some of you, you might not have ever heard this before, or you might have heard people talking about legacy. And that's what we're here for. What is that? We are here to create or buy assets that can go beyond me and you, so that for generations to come, they can still be able to reap the benefits of what you've invested into. Now, for the sake of the fact that we are about these three things, we don't just invest with anyone who just comes by and say, hey, TJ and Rita, we've got some money. We don't do that. We need to understand, we need to see whether you stand for these three things. And if you do stand for those three things, hey, we've been in the business for a while. We are experienced investors. You see where we are investing in. There is an application process. So if you are here and you are wanting to invest, whatever amount that you want to invest in, you are going to see that there is an application process that we need to go through. And that is to vet these three particular things to see, are we aligned? And if we are aligned, then bingo, yes, you can invest with us. So for some of you, you already have the money and you want to invest, I'm going to aid you to fill in the application form that is out there. Well, the story started off around about 5 years ago. Just about 5 years ago, Rita and I, we met our first investor. And that guy that you see in there is called, his name is Mark. And Mark, we went into a business and it was a pilot. We were trying to understand whether this thing works. And basically he became our investor where we bought a property, a 2-bed, 1-bath. We bought that property for 160,000. It was on the market for 390. And we literally renovated this place for around about 50,000. So all in all, we were all in for 210,000. But Mark gave us this money. And with that, whilst we were renting this place, we were splitting the profits with him. Eventually, we sold the property for 450 because Mark is a retired engineer. He needed some money to do something else. We split the profits of it. At that junction, we actually realized that, this can actually work and we can work with many investors. But at the time, Rita and I, we were working. We were fully employed elsewhere. So some of the other organizations that we were working for. But we discovered that we actually had a talent. And the talent was to look for opportunities for other people, and they could come in and invest alongside us. So the story began. We began learning and learning and learning. And on this picture here, you are seeing we was taking a picture with one of the greatest guys ever to be in the property business, I think within the last 5 decades, if not longer, actually. We were, this particular picture here was taken in, and on this particular day, we were in a 10-day training program. And within this program, he was teaching more around investing, particularly in investing in ground. You could be asking yourself, well, why? Well, the reason is they don't make ground anymore. You know, what you have is what you have. That's why people are going upstairs. That's why countries like Dubai, they are bringing in sand onto the sea so that they can build. Right, we now have a business. From that moment on, in that 2-bed, 1-bath, we have created a business over the last just over 5 years. We are now in 5 cities, in Potchefstroom, in Durban, in Johannesburg, Cape Town, right? And we have had over 400 investors, people like you, who have come in to invest with us. Well, 219 families actually call some of our buildings, they call these places home. They stay in those places, and over and above that, we now have just above 320 students that we look after across the cities that we do student accommodation. And this is primarily in Durban, in Cape Town, and in Potchefstroom. So as you can see, this has now grown to be a big business. But behind myself and Rita sits other people as well. Just above 71 jobs are being created with people that are coming through to invest with us. At the moment, I think we just have just below 50 employees that are working across the business. And over the years, more and more jobs are being created. It is all because people who are coming in to invest with us whilst we are creating these opportunities. Of late, we've been covered on the real estate investor magazine. So this is a magazine that is out there. Some of you might have seen this, and some of you might have seen the magazine. But these are great people. Some of these people we look up into, the likes of Warren Buffett, the great Elon Musk. He's been making so many waves now. Jeff Bezos, who doesn't know him? And we've been featured on this magazine. And I think it was a privilege to be to be featured on this magazine. Well, I think being in the magazines or getting all these successes, you can testify that myself and Rita, we can't do it alone. There's a bigger team behind us. And these are some of the other guys who are literally helping us every day. These are some of my partners that are helping us to make sure that whatever returns that we're going to promise you, whatever projects that we are jumping into, the rewards are there, the projects are working. And Hubert looks after developments. Joe, he's our fund manager. And Terence looks after our students. And Seth looks after our growth. And Elize, some of you who are going to join us today, you are going to be needing to sign contracts because we don't take money without the contracts. So Elize, she drafts up all of these agreements, and she's an attorney. And Bevan looks after all of our property. He's our property manager, and I am the captain of this ship. Well, I'd like to introduce you. Some of you have already met Tseho, and some of you might have already met Tseho. And I know that potentially you met via the telephone. And Tseho, she is here somewhere. Good morning, Tseho. Where are you?
Good morning. I'm right over here.
Right. And Tseho, she's our relationship manager. And for some of you already, you have received phone calls from her while she was onboarding you. So thank you for accommodating her while she's been calling you. But going forward, behind Tseho sits a number of other people that helps her. But she is the leading relationship manager, making sure that everything else that needs to be done from a paperwork perspective, making sure that you've been onboarded correctly and all of those things. Right, I'm gonna go ahead on the presentation. Okay, just bear with me there. There we go, awesome. Right, in 2019, we got to be awarded Investor of the Year. I had the privilege to go and pick that up. But if I am personally not doing these amazing things of providing passive income to you with the team, I'm also an author and I write books. And if you haven't read my book, I've got a book that's called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. It's freely available for you for attending today. And you can grab it on my website, which says tauraijack.com. Well, let's talk about the investments. So you came through and you want to invest. Let's talk about the investments. Why invest in property today? That's the question. And why should we bother even to invest? Because there's so many things that can create financial freedom for us. But why property today? So here is some information that I literally grabbed online. And you guys can also grab the same. And this, they're saying that in South Africa at the moment, we have a housing shortage. And I extracted this from the United Nations and the IOL, which is one of our local magazines, and together with the BBC, and they were doing some stats around what is happening in our economy. And they're saying, in short, that we currently have a 2 million deficit in terms of accommodation. Well, the city of eThekwini had recently said, with their current backlog, right, it's going to take them nothing less of 100 years to catch up to. Now, imagine now in this 100 years, even if they are going to play catch up, you and I, we're still creating babies every day. There's people that are migrating from different towns, from different countries, and things like that. So the reality is, will they ever catch up? The answer is no. So that's an opportunity for you and I to be investing in properties so that some of these backlogs can become an opportunity for us. But hold on, there is also another opportunity in student accommodation. We have seen over the years, there's many headlines that is coming out on student accommodation. Again, all of it is in the public knowledge. It's not information that is that I'm going out there to create for myself, but this is public knowledge. You can literally go and do the research for you. The bottom line is that we are having more students that are anticipated that are attending universities. And for that reason, you now have an opportunity where you can create student accommodations for students. Over and above that, we've had COVID. COVID has also created a major impact on the university residentials that they currently have, because where they used to have, let's say, 2 or 3 in terms of sharing, they can't do that in today's world because of COVID. So that lies, again, another opportunity for you and I. But hold on, you could be saying, TJ, I've heard horror stories around tenants. Tenants, they don't pay. I don't know. Well, this is the reality. There's a company that's called TPN, and they measure, right, in terms of tenants that are paying. So you can literally call them a rental bureau, if you like to call them. And what they basically do is they double check on which tenants are paying. So in this case here, this was literally taken in at one of the worst periods of our time, or should I say of our lifetime, during COVID. This was at the peak of 2020 when I pulled this out. I see that the 2021 Q1 hasn't come out yet, but I would have loved to show you that. So the reality is that tenants do pay. At what rate are they paying? The blue line there symbolizes tenants paying in good standing. So it basically means that round about 85% of them, they pay in good time. And you still have another percentage of people that won't be paying, that paid on time, which is around about 72%, round about, let's just call it a 70%, which is the green line, people that pay on time. But in good standing, we're talking about just above 70. Now, you can never have a business that runs on 100%. Whatever business that you're going to go into, it's got some form of a margin in which you need to be living, which you need to be looking after to make sure that you're always getting to the 100%. And this is where we come in. If the stats looks like this, we are there to make sure that the tenants that we are getting are the cream of the de la Rey to go in here. Well, I know that for some of you, your money is sitting at the bank at the moment. And the question that I want to ask of you is, irrespective of which bank that you bank with, it might be the blue bank, the green bank, or maybe the turquoise. How can we help you? In whatever account that you have, is it a fixed account, a savings account, maybe a 32-day notice? Have you checked of late? Have you checked of late what is the percentage that they're giving you? What is the interest that they're giving you? Is it a 4%? Is it a 6%? Is it an up to 7%? I don't know. You know your money, you know where your money is sitting. And the question that I'm asking is, do you know the interest rate that they're giving you on whatever account that you have? Well, it doesn't really matter to us though, because it's your money, right? You can do whatever you want to do, but here is the thing at M5 Property Addicts. We have created this fund so that you can come in and earn a higher yield, earn higher returns through properties. And the M5 Property Addicts, it is for people that literally understand that they can earn passive income. Just like you put in your money for your 32-day account, you're looking for passive income. That's what you're looking for. But is the 32-day account giving you the right passive income, the right returns that you're looking for? Everyone, obviously, we want all our money to be working harder for you. So we have created the M5 Property Addicts to make sure that people who come in here will understand that they want to build wealth through property. And they also need to understand the fact that they're going to be investing with other people, because that's what a fund does, right? Invest with other people. And once you understand that, I think then you can come through and invest with us, because our ideas and our goals together with the projects, we are aligned. Well, today I want to introduce to you, my friends, a project that we are fundraising for. And this is a 60-bed student accommodation. We are looking for 8 million rand. So you could be sitting where you're sitting now and you have R1 million that's sitting somewhere, a 500,000 sitting somewhere. It can come through, and it can come through into this project here. It's got a return of a plus 20% on it overall to the fund. And once we buy this property and we turn it around, the property valuation of it could be sitting just above 10 million rand. This property that I'm speaking of, you would have received an email. There is a full proposal in your email. You would have seen this, and this is the project that you can invest in, starting off at a minimum of 100,000. So you might be asking yourself, TJ, I understand all this property investment, but how do you do it? Well, today I am going to be that transparent to you, and I'm going to show you what I call our secret sauce. So there's different companies that do all of these things that I'm talking about. We're not any different. Our differentiator is our secret sauce. And the secret sauce is something that's going to enable you and us to make money together. And what is that? I just want to explain to you that potentially this could be you sitting on a corner there, right? That could be you sitting on a corner. And what we do is that we say something that is called invest, and we buy, and we renovate, we rent, we refinance, and we repeat that process again. So the first thing is that we need to have some finance. We need to have cash coming through from you. So that's you with a bag of money, and we're looking for that money tonight. So once you invest with us, what's going to happen? Well, the first thing is that we are going to buy that green building. So we buy that green building, and then what's going to happen? Well, we're going to renovate it so that it becomes what we are looking for, whether it's for students or whether it's for affordable housing. And then what? And then we rent it out. We put tenants in that project. When we have tenanted out over a period of time, let's say 3 months to 6 months, then what? Well, we take the same project to the bank. And then we get money from the bank as a loan. And what now happens is that we create tenants, and the tenants start paying off the amount that we've refinanced. Now, what happens to that money now when we refinance? Well, it comes back to us. When it comes back to us, what do? Well, we repeat the process again. We go and buy. This time around, it can be a blue building, and it might be a maroon building, or it can be a bigger building. But all of it, we are repeating the same process of buying, renovate, rent, refinancing that, and then we repeat. But what happens to you? You invest once, and over a period of time, we are buying these properties. We are managing these properties. You are receiving passive income. For some people, they do not want to go the full haul. They want to go out at some point. They want to exit the fund. That's okay. We are doing it for the long haul, 10, 20 years plus on. Remember, we are all about legacy. So if you're one of those people that are saying, hey, TJ, you know what? At some point, I would like to withdraw my money, or a portion thereof. Well, then the first thing is that we need to have cash coming through from you. So we buy that green building, and then what? Well, we take the same project to the bank. And then That's okay too. We're giving you the option. We lock the funds for 3 years. And then after 3 years, you can either exit. That's not the idea. The idea is that you can continuously be reinvesting so that we can continuously buy more. When we're buying more, what does it mean? Well, you are sitting on this corner here, and what's happening? Enjoying your passive income for years and years to come. And already some of you are beginning to ask the question, what might happen, TJ, if I've got kids? What will happen if I die? Well, this is the same reason why we are doing this. It is for generations to come, and you can do it. So how does the process work? Simply put, it's a minimum 3-year trust fund. You come in, you invest a minimum of 100,000, and thereafter that money goes and sit with Elize. She's normally with us today, but she's not here. And she's in our attorney. She has the capacity to manage money. And in the fund, in the trust account, that money is housed there. And thereafter, as and when we get the properties, we go out, we buy the properties. And the question that you might be asking yourself is, TJ, so when do I get my returns? I like this idea of buying properties bigger and going bigger like this, but when do I get paid? Well, at any given time of the year, we pay out distributions twice. So we do that in September and in February. So obviously, if you're investing today, your money hasn't gone to work. It needs to go to work and buy that property, isn't it? And then on the next cycle of the payment, that's when you get paid. Make sense? In the comments, you do have a comment section where you can just generally comment. You also have where in the questions and answer. In the questions and answer, please, that's where you can ask the questions, right? In the comments, it's just a general comment. I like it, or, great, well done, TJ, go for it. But in the questions and answers, please then put in your questions so that Rita, she can be able to answer you as we go along. Why do we specifically pay out in September and February? That kind of looks like an odd time, isn't it? Well, some of our properties, or should I say the majority of what we are going to be investing in, is student accommodation. And we have noticed a trend that not all universities pay at the same time, but we have realized that in between, no matter what normally happens, like last year we were in the peak of COVID, the universities paid all the way to around about August. That was the latest that they paid. So for that reason, it still gives us internally another 30 days for us to prepare the paperwork and then distribute. And that goes for the same for the end of the year. And then February, we also distribute. Well, these are some of the properties that we have bought in the trust. And there's people that have already invested in here just below 9 million rand. As I speak, I think we've just gone past 9 million rand. And these are 2 properties. One of it is a multi-purpose building, which is out in Florida, in Johannesburg. If you ever come through to our offices is situated there. And another property is out in Cape Town, which is utilized as student housing. These are the 2 properties that we have already bought now. So even if you're not investing with us today, guess what? The train is going. The show is going, ladies and gentlemen. We are going still to be investing with other people. And it is also good to have you on board. Now, we have a targeted return of 14%. I know you're going to ask the question, TJ, but the other project you showed 20%. Yes, it is 20% on that particular project. However, we generally look for projects that are, or should I say, nothing less of 14% on our money. So that's the target. Hey, we may even get a project that's 30%, even 50%, we will still buy. The minimum requirement that we're looking for, that we're chasing for, is a 14%. And projects will come and go with a different return on investment. But remember, this could be a combination of the capital gains and also the rental distribution. So these properties, these 2 properties that we are talking about, how have they performed? Because this is an existing fund, how have they performed? Well, the first building, it's a 29 mixed-use building. We literally bought that building for 13.5 million. We bought it. So we did buy it. I was going to say we did buy it. We did buy it. We renovated it, right? And now we're renting it out, okay? And we even refinanced it because we've got a loan on this bank here, on this property here. And basically we bought it and all capex in, we're looking for 13.5 million. We recently reevaluated that same property and the valuation came at 16 million rand. Now you make money twice in property. You make money in equity. What is equity? The difference of the value, the value of the property and how much you're actually owing on that, or how much you've spent on it, okay? Right? So that's what's equity. Equity enables you, that's how you become rich over a period of time. And in this case here, we literally bought, by doing this, we brought ourselves in the fund an equity of 2.5 million. Now that's cash that's available now to us or in asset form, and it's not in cash for us to distribute, but it's in asset form. So it helps us now when we're refinancing, because now we are 2.5 million rand richer than before. And likewise, the Link Road project, we bought that for 3.5 all-inclusive capex, and we evaluated that same property recently, and it's sitting on 5.2 million. Now the equity that we now got there is sitting on 1.7. So we do have the cash flows there, but in a nutshell, in year number one, the return on investments that we have created for ourselves in the existing fund on the just below 9 million rand, the people that have come in, it basically means that the fund has had a return of 40%. We are in year one. Now, if we can go in and we can refinance that, with the refinancing, we can get some of that cash out in terms of the equity that you've got there. We can go and buy another property. But we are giving you the opportunity where you can come in and further invest with us. We are wanting to get to 20 million before the end of the year. So my friend, I'm asking you to come through and invest with us. And this is the magic that you and I can do. You don't have to do anything other than sending an email, other than calling us to say, I'm in, how much can I contribute? You tell us how much you can contribute. We'll get the paperwork to you. The rest, you leave that to us. Well, we do have an option for some people that are looking at a short-term investment, right? You probably have maybe a 300, 500,000 sitting somewhere, and you want to invest on a short-term investment. Again, this is a no strings attached. You're coming in at a minimum of 1 year. You invest at 100,000, your return you're looking at is 13%, 13%. That's not per month, by the way. That is per year, all right? That is per year, 13% per year. And basically you're getting 13,000, and what will be distributed to your bank account every month on the 10th. Over 400 people have been receiving this. 1,083 will come through to your bank account, no questions. And at the end of 1 year, you can either decide, are you going to reinvest or are you going to withdraw your capital? So your capital is guaranteed at the end of 1 year. This is a very short term, but remember, property is always in the long term, and we would obviously want you to be playing with us in the long term. However, the short-term option is also available. Who would like us now to say, hey, TJ, I think I'm in, I understand how this works. And if you do understand how this works, and if I've given you enough information for you to make a decision, well, the application form is in the chat. Rita is going to distribute the application form now, and you can literally jump in and you can decide, are you going to go on a 3-year investment with us in the trust, or are you going to do a 1-year investment? And within that application form, we will give you a call in the week, long before Friday, and we will confirm based on how you answer the questions, and we will give you a thumbs up to say, well, you've been approved. And thereafter, you can do the paperwork. From doing the paperwork, you can then be able, we send you, you send the funds throughout to us. Within the paperwork itself, you'll be able to see your details, our details, banking details, adding your banking details, and that becomes a legitimate contract that you sign. You can do all of this online. It's available on a platform that's called DocuSign. And for some people that also want to come and see us at the office, that option is also available. However, we've got a due date, and the due date for you to let us know that you've got some money and your application form is this coming Friday. Why this coming Friday? We've got a project to go and buy, right? We've got a project to go and buy, and the sooner we commit, the better it is for the seller, so that we can commit to them to say, hey, we've got 2 million now, we've got 5 million now, and who knows, you may have the 8 million together right now. We can go in together on that deal. Well, with all of this that I've said, I just want to ask the question to you, do you understand the flow of money? Do you understand the flow of money? What's going to happen right now is your money is sitting at the bank. That's where it's sitting right now. And you are in those 12 months, whatever savings accounts you have, and you're saying, TJ, I like my money to be at the bank. That's okay. But here's the reality. It is the same banks that are going to take the money from you, give you a 4%. And what does the bank do? Remember, the bank is in the business of selling money. They're going to sell that money to us. You all know that at the moment it's around about 7% plus. And maybe they might give me 9% on your money, whilst they are giving you a 4%. So, is it worth it? Do you want to have a middleman when we are having this conversation? I think for me, you can make up your mind. I'm already showing you where we are going to be investing your money. And you are putting your money at the bank. And potentially, you probably don't know where they are going to be putting that money to work. With us, you will see it all. Well, it is that time where you need to make a decision whether you're going to go left or right. Left just basically means you're investing with us on a shorter period. A minimum investment, you're getting a 13%, and that'll get paid monthly. So that's 13,000 divided by 12. You get that on a monthly basis. And over and above that, or you can go right. And right is minimum investments on a 3 years in the trust. And literally you can be investing and getting paid twice a year, but you're getting paid like infinity returns. You can't calculate the returns that you get in there, because your money is going to be in one project, it comes out, it goes to another project whilst you have invested once. And that's why we call it infinity returns. And if you have never heard of the word infinity returns, ladies and gentlemen, go and Google it and see what it basically means. These are some of the terminologies that we start speaking about. Now, here's the thing. You may also be sitting on the fence and like, TJ, I'm not so sure. That's okay. Whilst your money is at the bank, I checked out at the banks right now. How can we help you? They're talking about an 8%. No, up to 8%, right? And then when I hit you with some fees and some charges in between, when we're talking 13%, we give you 13%. 400 and just about 400 investors, they have tested that, right? Some of these banks, they're talking about, hey, get a powerful goal saver savings too, and up to 7%. Is it really 7% when they're saying up to? When we talk 13%, it is 13%. That's what you get, right? Now, some of you are already leaving your money at the bank and you're thinking that you're saving. Now, I want to give you a teaser. I took the screenshot just in April, May, somewhere in May, and they were showing, this is the stats essay, they were showing, right? They were showing the inflation for Q1 2021. How much is it? 4.4%. Some of you are sitting with your monies at some banks and it's already earning 4%. Yes, That's where your money is sitting right now, today. But the inflation rate is sitting on 4.4%. Are you making money? Or are you losing money? Oh no, I've got a savings account. Is it a savings account for real? No, it's a 32-day account. Oh, okay. I don't know. Are you making money? It doesn't look it like, to me, it doesn't. But do the homework yourself. And if you can do the homework yourself, then check to see whether your money is working for you. If you have to get anything at all, if you don't invest with us in here, that's okay. Hey, the show will continue with us. The train will go ahead with us. But let this be a wake-up call for you to say where my money is it working for me? And if it is working for you, great, well done, high five. But if it's not, then make the necessary changes. We might not be the best investment place for you, but at least make the necessary changes to know or to make sure that your money is making sense for you. Well, I'm saying that there is a middleman between us and you. Well, you've seen what we do. We do properties. Your money comes through and sits on a property. So why not you invest with experienced investors? Get that money from out of the banking system, put it into an asset that you can call on with us, or maybe not. Just come in and test us for a year and see how things work out. We are happy to be tested. We've been tested many a times. Over 400 investors have invested with us. And we're still here. We still continue. I'll be glad, my team and I will be glad to receive your application, to assess your applications from tomorrow so that you can come in and invest alongside of us. Well, everything has a time frame. We do have a time frame, which is this coming Friday. We want to know, and then we can already do the paperwork there. Check how soon you can release that money from whatever bank it is, so that we can start going to work together in the property space and secure your investment. Who knows? It might be for your retirement. You might be investing for your kids. You might be investing for yourself. I don't know. People that have come through to invest with us, they have invested for many reasons. We don't judge, but we do the work. Hey, it's been great hanging out with you. It's TJ. If this information has been helpful to you, I'm going to close this presentation now. I've got another meeting that I need to attend into, but would like to hear from you. In the comments, there's an application form. Fill in the application form and we will be able to get to you. Well, thank you very much.
Taurai, you've been in my circle for a while, and you've now investing with us. And what gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
Okay, cheers.
Basically, I saw the work that you guys do. Yeah, I really have faith in it. I'm here to make money. Yeah. I think you are a proven and tried and tested method. I watch all your YouTube videos, some very insightful content, and I really believe in the journey that you're on right now. And I like your strategy, and so I invested.
Cool. Too many more.
Sure.
You've been investing with us for a while.
Yeah.
And the first time round, I think it's about 2 years now?
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay. And the first time round when you invested with us, what gave you the leap of faith of investing with us?
I think I had just gotten tired of looking and postponing, and because I just didn't have the time to find properties myself, when I came across you guys, I thought I'm making more money with you than trying to manage a tenant and getting like a fraction of what I was getting with you. So yeah, it made sense.
And how do you enjoy that money that comes through?
Yes, on the 10th, yes.
Right.
Every morning on the 10th, my WhatsApp is there and it's already in my bank account. So I think it's also very comforting that it's never late. So you know you can trust the people that are behind the money.
Awesome stuff. Kanya, thanks for investing with us.
Thanks.
And
thanks for the opportunity.
Sure. What gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
Firstly, your team. When I looked at your team, because I started knowing you guys earlier this year, around I think it was just before lockdown.
Sure.
Now, when I looked at your team, each of the members, like in your team, they are quite credible. Besides you yourself, of course, being the SA Investor of the Year last year.
Sure.
Because I mean, the SAPIN team, anything that they credit must be trustworthy, because the SAPIN team themselves are quite a credible team.
Awesome, man.
Yes, my brother.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so Hesho, you've been investing with us.
Yeah.
What made you take the leap of faith to invest with us?
So TJ, I think for me it was the fact that I've been following you for some time. We've came through the same education system, proper investment, and I've seen what you've done. And I think for me it was sort of an easy decision, you know, to invest with you and to build a partnership with you and to create a legacy for ourselves and our family and creating accommodation for people.
Cool.
Yeah.
To many more.
Like,
Thank
cool.
you.